Hello again, everybody. It's me, Foxy D. And again, I'm going to try to be as short and succinct as possible. So today's video is going to challenge the narrative out there that targets are these soft petals and snowflakes. It couldn't be further from the truth. This is a narrative that is the mainstream narrative that serves to keep the existing power structure in place. Not going to get into that now. That's going to come at a later date. Just take my word for it. All right, so here we go. I'm going to be referring down, so if I don't look directly at you, look at my notes. I don't want to miss a beat. So here we go. Anatomy of a target/victim of bullying at the workplace. And the second part of the video is how to avoid being the victim, target of workplace bullies, mobbers. I'm going to be as objective as possible. You will not like everything I have to say in this video because of that. But here we go. Number one. Who are the targets? People like you and me who are free thinkers and critical thinkers. Number one. Number two, highly competent, good at their jobs, and care about their jobs. No matter how base or low level that job is, we tend to do it very well and know it very well. We are conscientious. Number three. Now, number three is essential. Have integrity. Whether or not we're outspoken, okay, some of us are, some of us are not, but integrity is key. So victims or targets of workplace mobbing are people of integrity who do not tend to join cliques. Number four, we do not kiss up, kick down. Therefore, we fail to embed ourselves into the power structure by sidling up to people in higher positions. Just not part of our nature. All right. So certain personality types, HSPs, for instance, highly sensitive people, who tend to mirror the ugly back to the ugly. What does that mean? That means whether or not you're outspoken, like whether or not you're introverted, extroverted, outspoken or not, if you look at someone who's committing an act that is either perceived by you as unjust or is immoral, okay? Like, so say you see somebody in a position of power yelling at an underling and doing it really in a terrible manner. If that person catches your glance and sees your face, you cannot hide what you've seen in your face. When you're highly sensitive, it's almost as though you throw that energy right back at them. I don't want to sound too hokey. Some of you will get what I'm saying. Those of you who don't, invite me or comment. I'll explain. Okay, so I'll go on. So in short, targets are people who are mismatched in terms of person-environment factors. So that means in corporate and government environments, management typically lacks integrity because there's so many tiers to management. And like I said in the last video, they're not held financially accountable when something goes wrong with people, processes, etc., etc. So in these types of environments, because people tend to lack accountability at the higher levels, the higher level people are typically lack integrity, and they try to quash those who do have integrity as they are deemed to be a threat. So we hear this term a lot. So what kind of a threat? How could I be a threat? I'm doing this tiny little clerk job. Big deal. I'm just doing my job. Even if I'm not embedding myself in the power structure, how am I a threat? I'll tell you. There are a few ways in which you're a threat. Number one, you're the type of person who may challenge existing policies and practices that serve the current power structure. So you might rock a boat that they don't want you to rock. You're the type of person who will do it. Number two, you may challenge management directly by pointing out failings or things that need to be improved for people or processes. Again, you will challenge that power structure. And finally, you may fail to or refuse to cover up nefarious information that is directly or indirectly related to those in power. You threaten their positions. You are the type of person who could become a whistleblower. That's dangerous for people who don't have integrity and want to keep their positions. You're a big threat. So now I'm going to move on to how to avoid being a target in general, all right? If, say, this is your first corporate or government gig, and there you are, and you're like, oh my God, what do I do? I'm afraid what's going to happen. I'm going to give you some rules to follow, And if you follow these rules, okay, they're a little bit soul selling, but they are what they are. If you follow these rules, you will not be a target. Okay, here we go. Number 1, play nice in the sandbox. Do not rock the boat. What does that mean? That means if you're asked in a meeting, what can we do to improve such and such in terms of, say, a process, like I said, that's just been there forever and is serving the people in power, even if they're genuinely curious and they do want ideas, say nothing. Keep your true opinions to yourself across the board at all times for anything. Do not make any real friends. Do not confide in anyone. If someone starts to get too personal with you, like has happened to me, all right, and they start to confide, throw them little bits. Throw them something that make them think they know something deeply about you. Just, don't really tell them anything true about yourself. And if you're going to tell them something, don't exaggerate anything. Just give them a little bit or piece. Like if they start crying that, oh my God, I just went through this awful divorce, you could say, oh, well, say, which is my case. Yeah, I know it's tough. Many moons ago, I went through a divorce as well. I know it's really tough, difficult. Anyhow. Number 2, embed yourself in the power hierarchy by making friends with at least 1 or 2 people in positions of power and kiss up. What does that mean? That means go to functions, volunteer at functions, agree to help fundraise for any cause that is supported by those in power. Okay? Or say, for instance, they have a team visiting from another city for whatever organization you work for. You be the first one to raise your hand and say, I'd love to, I can bring them for dinner somewhere. Not that you have to pay for the dinner, but it's like you could give your time. And if you give your time for free, all right, not all the time, but every so often for these types of things, they'll love you. You'll never get mobbed. Okay. Next, number 3. Do not smile too much or seem too happy. Practice your RBF. I'll explain what that is in the comment section, but some of you may know. So no expression, only to the higher-ups. Smile and be polite, but not to your colleagues or maybe a select few. We'll get there, okay? And when you're sending emails, do not start them with Dear So-and-so. Don't be too polite. Don't ask people how your day was or I hope you're having a great day. Their first name, a comma, and the meat of the matter is sufficient. No be well, none of that nice closing at the end. No cheers, nothing of the sort. Keep it dry. Next, number 4, do not befriend employees who are at lower levels or those at your level who seem to be loners or who seem to look afraid. Those are not the people that are going to inoculate you from a mobbing. We will continue. Conform. That's number 5. Always. For instance, my case, I'm a smoker. Quit smoking. Smoking just shows that, no, my God, everybody's managed to quit. You didn't quit smoking. Don't smoke, all right? Even if you're allowed to, as many meters away from the place, quit smoking. Stop doing it. If you're allowed to decorate your office, make sure you use very neutral colors and neutral decor. If you like crazy art, like I do, don't put any of that in there. Heaven forbid. So, number 6, very important, this one. Okay, because this one serves a couple of functions. It serves being inoculated and how to climb the corporate ladder. So what do? Read excerpts of The Prince by Niccolo Machiavelli, and this will teach you about how to navigate political environments like a pro and how to think like the mobbers do. Now, obviously, by the tone of my voice, you know what I think of all of this, but I'm just putting the info out there, okay? My opinion, if you have integrity and you're the type of person I described at the beginning of this video, these are not the environments for you. Find something else. Start your own business. Do something else. I'm telling you, it's pretty tough. So the next video is something I had forgotten about. Who are the bystanders? I forgot about them. They're a huge part of the anatomy of a mobbing. It's going to be succinct, short. Stay tuned. Love you all. I really do. We got to keep fighting the good fight. Foxy D. Until the next time. Namaste.